The next thing I'm going to do is put a chimney crown sealer, which is this stuff, brushable chimney repair. It's kind of like a thick cement-like paint, and that's going to seal up our chimney cap. Right now it's all broken, and you can see bricks are crumbling out because here in Michigan water gets in there and then it freezes and the bricks pop out. So hopefully this will prevent any more damage to the chimney from water getting into the top. So there's 3 steps that it asks for on here. I'm going to be doing 2 of those 3 steps. The first one they say is to take a wire brush, clean the crown off. I'm going to do that. The second thing they say is to wet it down with some spritz of water. I'm going to do that. The third thing they say is for a nice clean edge, put some tape around the edge. I'm not doing that. It's too high up. I can't get to the backside. I can barely reach it with the brush, let alone get to the edge. So I'm just going to be brushing it on, 2 coats, waiting an hour in between. So first thing is get up there with a wire brush. The other thing I'd point out is I bought a harness and a rope from Amazon too. The harness was under 20 bucks. The rope was 20 or 30 bucks. And that's because our roof at the gutter is 20 feet up and at the chimney is about 30. And I really don't want to fall off of here where I'm climbing the ladder, climbing another ladder. But if I do, I want this harness, so hopefully it'll stop me from falling off the edge. So you can see how big the some of the cracks are in here, and some of these are pretty loose. Okay, it's all cleaned up with the wire brush. The next step I will be doing is wetting it down. This is just a spritz bottle, and they say kind of wet it down so that it doesn't all get absorbed into the stone. Well, I can see why they say wet it down. Our cement really just absorbed, sucked all that moisture right in. You can see right here, it's a pretty dry spot. If I spray it, a couple seconds later, it just sucks it right all in. So I was really wetting some of this down, and it was getting absorbed right in there. So you can see that's almost starting to dry up right in here. Okay, that's all I'm going to do for prep now. Time to brush this stuff on. It's real thick and kind of like runny peanut butter. My method is just get a big 3-inch brush, glop it on, fill in the crack, and then kind of smooth it out. That's all I've been doing. Really just getting a big glop of this stuff, filling in the cracks, because that's where the water's getting in, and then just smoothing out the edge. But one thing I noticed, this thing was sitting on here. It was really loose. I just lifted it off, and that gave me a lot more access to get all around there and seal that in nice and tight. So you want to seal up all the cracks. So if you have to lift something off like this, seal it up, put it on. That's. Well, I'm almost done with the first coat, and I have to say I'm really liking this stuff. I thought I was going to have to caulk all of these bad joints, but this stuff seems like it's doing a good job. There was a joint I just kind of slathered and filled in. So here's a pretty big crack in here, and just kind of smearing this stuff in there. You can see it just fills it right in. So I thought I was going to have to go through and caulk everything, but I'm glad I didn't. The other thing is, yeah, you might say that's a little messy and I should have taped it. I really don't care at this point. I'm just making sure I get it right up to the edge over here. And anywhere water could get in. And then really getting these cracks. Well, I'm just waiting for the first coat to dry. It's drying pretty quickly up there. And I used about half of the container. So for that size chimney, I think that size is pretty good. Well, it's been an hour and I've come back and I did just slightly wet everything down again. Just a quick spray. All the thin coat is dry, but where I put it on really thick in the cracks, it's still a little tacky, but it's mostly dry. And just for reference, this cap is about 3 by 5, maybe a 2.5 by 5, and I used half the container. But again, I put it on really thick. So if you have a 3 by 5 cap, this container should be fine. Now I'm just going to do the rest of it. I'll take this back off and start doing the second coat. Well, I'm finished with the second coat, and I used almost the entire bucket. So 2 coats, a 2.5 by 5 or a 3 by 5 cap is perfect. I'm now taking all the rest of it and just slobbing it on and filling in all the cracks in case those cracks ever do expand. I want to really seal those. Yeah, I'm just getting all that's left here, really globbing up this brush and just filling in all these cracks and smoothing everything out. But I'm really happy with it. It's gone on really well. It's covered. I've used a brush, and so far it looks great. This is the end of step 2. Step 3 is going to be waterproofing.
Well, I hope you liked the video you just watched. If you did, feel free to subscribe by clicking the button on this side. You can also check out all the videos I've done, the playlist from things I've built, things I've fixed, home repair, 3D printing, and on this side you can check out a recommended video similar to the one you just watched. And as always, down in the description I'll put a link to my blog, which has more pictures and more information about the video you just watched. Thanks.